You're listening to the Lanterns Radio Network. We are the network dedicated to empowering the individual, illuminating the truth, defending American exceptionalism, and inspiring future generations. Stay connected and get involved at Lanterns.buzz for great radio. Get commentary and news of the day. Lanterns.buzz.
Common sense, comedy, and freedom. You found the defenders of American exceptionalism on the Lanterns Radio Network.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Defenders of American Exceptionalism on the Lanterns Radio Network. Happy Wednesday, everybody.
Happy Wednesday.
It's the middle of the week. I love it.
Gotta love it.
Hope everybody's having a good week so far.
I know I am.
I am as well.
I've had no OT, so it's been very nice. I've been refreshed and woken, and it's been wonderful.
Hashtag Stevens woke.
Yes, I am.
You just walked right
But Dylan ain't woke, so it's all good.
That's all right. Folks, we hope you're having a great night so far. Thank you for tuning in. We know you could be doing a million other things, and you are here hanging out with us tonight, and we appreciate it. You can catch us live right now on Facebook at DOAE Show, Twitter at DOA Show. Use the hashtag NowIKnow.
You can also go to patreon.com/DOAE Show and become a patron. Get some swag.
Indeed. We are going to start off tonight talking about the State of the Union speech last night. In case anybody had missed it, the President did his first State of the Union as President of the United States.
Yes.
And we have with us, joining us, Mr. Curtis Ellis, a Senior Policy Advisor for American First Policies, which is an independent organization promoting the policies that make America great again, and was a former chairman of American Jobs Alliance. Mr. Ellis, how are you doing this evening, sir?
I am unmuted, and I am doing great.
There you are.
That is awesome. How you doing, sir?
It's great to be here.
We really appreciate you coming on, man. So,
and I'm kind of woke.
You're kind of woke. Well, it's 9 o'clock Eastern.
Yeah, I've been up all day.
Yeah,
making America great again.
There you go. There you go.
Absolutely. So, we assume that you watched
the State of the Union
yesterday.
Oh, I sure did, man. I was there. Corey Lewandowski was there, and Dave Bossy, and all kinds of people, all kinds of the MAGA band. They were all there. We were having a great time.
Got the band back together again.
the 3D
back
chess.
Together.
Oh, yes, it'd be good times. Oh, so you are the senior policy advisor for America First.
There you go.
I gotta say it properly.
It's not like this is your job or anything.
I know, it's not like I talk for, a voluntary living.
You were also part of Trump's transition team.
And the campaign as well.
And the campaign as well.
Tower on the 14th floor, just steps away from the whole crowd.
There you go.
So you definitely have firsthand. This is one of the reasons why we wanted to speak to Mr. Ellis. I mean, who else is going to have a better insight into the speech than this guy? So,
or the guy that wrote it.
Or the guy that wrote it.
I know the people who wrote it.
There you go. Well,
speaking of who wrote it.
Well, obviously, President Trump wrote it. Well, he's got a great speechwriting team there. Stephen Miller, he's one of the speechwriters. And also over there in the speechwriting shop of the White House is a fellow named Tony Dolan.
Okay.
Tony was involved. He wrote speeches for Ronald Reagan. And you may recall there was that famous speech where he said, "Mr. Gorbachev, tear down that wall."
Yes, sir.
That was Tony Dolan's handiwork.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, that's good times.
Yeah.
Well, one of the questions I have, I'm going to throw out there, is so when he did his immigration plan,
right?
Let me put it this way: why did he jump to amnesty first? Why is that the number one pillar? Why isn't the wall the number one pillar, or ending everything else? But why was amnesty? Why was giving the left literally what they wanted, which obviously didn't please them, and there's no ever pleasing them.
Right.
But why was giving that right out the gate? Why was there something behind that? I hear some people say that he has this master plan and it's going to work, and other people are just like he's just a great negotiator. I mean, you've been around and you dealt with him. Explain this one to me, because this is.
Well, I think you've answered the question. Why do they do it first? Give the left everything they want, but you can never give them everything they want. They've already rejected it.
Yeah.
And he didn't, it's not like he said, well, the way he laid it out, 1, 2, 3, 4, he could have switched it up, right? We're going to build the wall, because we all know that you have to build the wall first before you do the rest of it. Otherwise, we'll never get around to building the wall.
Oh, absolutely.
I agree with you. And he knows that. But for that right now, for the sake of appearances, and politics is so much the art and science of appearances and perceptions.
Okay.
He's like, he said, I offer an open hand to the Democrats in the spirit of compromise, where nobody gets everything they want, but we do get to solve the problem that we need to solve. And so for the, for the poetry of it, number 1 became a pathway to citizenship.
Gotcha.
And the pathway, of course, is strewn with a whole lot of obstacles, which I don't consider obstacles. I consider it clean living. Like, you're going to stay in school. You're going to not go on welfare. You're going to have a job. You're not going to get arrested, But if you meet all those things, then, if you avoid all those obstacles on the pathway to citizenship, somewhere down the yellow brick road, you're going to get that citizenship. Okay. But he made that number 1 to expose, as that entire speech did, expose the ridiculous position of the Democrats, that they are intransigent, incapable of making a deal. They don't care about these people that they claim to care about. They just want to get voters, or they just want to rile people up. There's a story, you go back to the 1950s, the first civil rights bill that made it through the Senate. They had to get Republican support for it. And at that time, the Republicans were the pro-civil rights party. But I'll keep the story short. The moral of the story is the Republicans, while they were pro-civil rights, because remember, the Democrats were all the Southern segregationists and the stuff, racists. But the Republican politicians, they didn't even really want to solve the problem. Because as long as the problem was out there, they could whip up voter sentiment and get people to vote Republican. Now, that's not exactly parallel, because these illegal immigrants can't vote. Oh, that's right. Well, they're not supposed to be able to vote.
They can vote in some states as long as they have a driver's license, like California.
Yeah.
Which is kind of funny.
So
you actually answered 2 questions in one. The other question obviously being, okay, so this was just a ploy to make sure to point out that the Democrats were not going to budge, even if it was case.
Even if you give them everything they want, what they really want is they want 11 million new voters. That's what they want. Anything short of that, they will call you a white supremacist, racist, yellow belly, pinko commie, egg sucking dog, is what they'll call you. But they're getting pretty close.
I got you there. So,
commie stuff.
I was going to say that nowadays it's almost not a bad thing. I mean, we have people like
Russia loving pinko commie.
I was going to say, even if you have people like Bernie Sanders, who's an avowed, open, democratic socialist. I don't think they care anymore.
Probably not.
It's like, what's in a name?
What's in a name?
Until they fling it at you for being against them.
I mean, it's not like McCarthy's out there saying that people are communist anymore.
I hold here in my hand.
He was the wrong person for the right time. All right. So speaking of wrong person, right time.
Yeah.
The infrastructure deal. What is going on with that? I mean, all last year. Look, okay, coming clean. We're both conservative. We're both small government people. Yeah. I did not vote for Trump because his track record. His track record was zilch. Absolutely zilch. I didn't have anything to go off of. I'm not going to vote for just a person because of he's a name. Last year alone, he did a lot of great policies.
Yeah.
A lot of great policies. And this is scaring me. The infrastructure deal is scaring me. It's like, what am I gonna call? Is this shovel ready? Is this the what? Is this the the stimulus? The son of stimulus, the son's uncle's cousin's nephew stimulus. I mean, this
Twice
is
removed. Yeah.
This is a lot of money that we're talking about the government spending. What is actually going on here?
Well, what he has laid out, what he's talked about, part of it is number one, it's going to be the federal government would put up $200 billion. So that's, I guess that's real money. It's not the 1 trillion or 1.5 trillion, but
sort of, yeah.
200 billion is not peanuts. I'll take it. It's almost as much as Jeff Bezos is worth, but not quite. And then the state and locals would have to find the rest of the money, put up the rest of the money. The idea being everybody's got skin in the game. There's going to be some accountability to it. Mm-hmm. The other part of it, though, is public-private partnerships so that you get some private sector competence. Now, remember, Donald Trump's own record is as a builder. And the thing, I'm from New York City, and I remember this myself.
Tell.
I remember. Don't hold it against me. I remember this when the city of New York tried to rebuild this skating rink in Central Park, and it was just horribly behind schedule and over budget. And Trump came in, and he was a very young man at the time because we're going back to like the 1970s or something, or the early 1980s. And he came in and rebuilt this rink under budget and under schedule, on time, ahead of schedule, and under budget. So that's the idea of the public-private partnership, is you get some private sector people that are used to actually doing things and not just cost plus, accounting. You won't be wasting the money. Now, the other very important part of this infrastructure deal is streamlining the permitting. Right now, you're going to wait like years and years and years to go through all the EPA, environmental protection, find out if there's like a feather-bellied horny toad living on that site that you want to excavate to put in the extra lane for the highway.
Okay.
So you're going to have to punch your way through a mountain of bureaucracy before that first shovelful of dirt can be turned.
Okay.
And as part of this infrastructure rebuild that he talked about all through the campaign and everything, they would streamline and update and get rid of all this, a lot of the red tape and regulation and the permitting. I, by the way, met during the transition team. I met with the building trades unions. Okay. The guys that the steel guys and the hod carriers, the cement carriers, the masons and all that. And they're like totally on board. They say like, yeah, we know that this permitting is just ridiculous. It is just the red tape is strangling everybody. And you do something about that so we can build these pipelines and we can build do the other things that need to be built. Mm-hmm. And we're going to tell the rest of the labor movement to go jump in a lake. We're with you, Mr. Trump. Okay. So, there's a lot of payoffs to this besides fixing those roads that are jarring the back fillings in your teeth out because the potholes. We're also going to be able to realign the entire political landscape, getting some of the labor people on our side instead of on their side, and get rid of some of this red tape and bureaucracy and just all that garbage.
I gotcha.
So,
okay.
While we rebuild the highway, we're going to clear out the underbrush of red tape.
So what you're saying is this isn't actually shovel-ready jobs. What he's proposing is something that's going to cut a lot of the federal red tape and also do some federal funding, but most of the funding that he's talking about with the infrastructure plan is going to be state by state.
State by state and public-private partnership. And everybody said, what's a public-private partnership? That sounds really weird. Every time you set foot in an airport, you are in a public-private partnership.
Right.
All airports are not built, and they are not owned by, let's say, the city of, Milwaukee. Right. They're owned by the airlines, which benefit the most by having an airport. They've got skin in the game. So they're helping build those.
Let's just hope that the TSA doesn't run this into the ground then.
Yeah, that would be that would be nice. That would definitely.
If by cutting the red tape we're talking about that, let's hope the TSA is not involved.
Ugh. Ooh, that's somebody that we can
with you on that.
do away with.
Oh
Giant
goodness!
Waste. Real fast, I got a question I wanted to throw at you. kind of going back to the wall.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, going back to the wall. One of the big things that Trump pushed out was that it was going to be Mexico paying for it. Even up until, and correct me if I'm wrong, but even up until after he was elected and he made it into president, there was still a little bit going on. Mexico was never mentioned last night at all.
No.
Is there, and I know this is kind of like, you know, I should be asking him theoretically this, but you know the guy. Where's Mexico in all of this?
Where's Mexico in all
Are
this?
they going? Is there anything going down? Because it just seemed to kind of have fizzled away. And
no. Here's the deal. That's a very good question. I'm glad you asked. Mexico's, by the way, Mexico. Where's Mexico in all this? On the other side of the wall.
Touche.
Nicely done. Yes.
The world's most interesting man is going to pay for the wall. Every time you take a shot of tequila, you will be helping pay for that wall. Every time you buy a shot of tequila. There are many ways to get Mexico to pay for the wall. The most interesting way would be to have many of the Mexicans that are here working are sending money back to Mexico. Through Western Union and remittances, they're called. We put a percentage on that. We put call it what you will, a surcharge or a fee, a handling fee.
Okay.
That would pay for the wall real quick. Notice after this tax cut business, Chrysler has decided to invest $50 billion or some crazy amount of money, and they're going to build their next plant in Michigan instead of Mexico. Well, one way of looking at it, all those
technically they paid for it, right?
Going to Michigan instead of Mexico, that's going to help pay for the wall. So Mexico's kind of paying for the wall.
So they're paying for it in lost opportunity and their people. So they're people sending money back and lost opportunity is what you're saying so far.
And in the renegotiation of NAFTA, which is being renegotiated right now, something could be put in there as well.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Do you have time to stick around a little bit more?
Sure. This is too much fun.
Okay. All right.
Good.
Well, we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to roll around in here on the other side, and we're going to be back with Mr. Curtis Ellis, Senior Policy Advisor for America First Policies. Hang around. We will be right back. Hope y'all are enjoying this. Don't forget, we're live on Facebook at DOA Show, Twitter at DOA Show. Use the hashtag #NowIKnow. If you guys got any questions, anything you want us to ask Mr. Ellis while we've got him on,
send it through.
Send it through, and we'll get it done. Catch y'all on the side. Don't go nowhere.
Yay. Yay.
And welcome back, folks. You're listening to Defenders of American Exceptionalism on the Lanterns Radio Network. Oh, we are joined tonight by Mr. Curtis Ellis. I'm sorry. On a first name basis, I'm giving you a nickname now. Apparently,
I mean,
he's
this
is how good we are. Right?
Quick.
I am. I bond easily. Mr. Ellis is a senior policy advisor with America First Policies. Oh, and former chairman of the American Jobs Alliance. We were discussing SOTU last night.
Yes, and we're grilling him hard.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
he's like a hot dog.
He's like one of those hot dogs that are sitting on the griddle that's been there way too
Forever.
long.
Oh, it's 7-Eleven.
7-Eleven. That's what I was
7-Eleven. Out of Wawa's.
Oh.
I love Wawa's
Yeah.
and
well,
Sheets.
now you're getting up north and getting weird on me.
Look, man, I work in Virginia. How's it going to be? I can't help it.
It's just a kangaroo spinoff.
No, Wawa's and Sheets are like.
See,
side.
don't. I'm on a diet, man. I can't.
No, can't go there.
This man's on a diet, and I'm sitting over here still hungry.
Yeah,
Rub it in
but
my
you're
face.
woke.
That is true. I am woke.
He is woke.
Apparently, Dylan ain't woke.
No
that is
idea.
also a hashtag going along right now. Okay, so.
Yes. What are we up to here?
All right. I've got to ask you this.
Go
Donald
ahead.
Trump, throughout the entire thing, Donald Trump was constantly looking at the Democrats.
Right?
Why?
Well, why?
I mean,
Because they hate to look at him.
is that what it is? Was he just trying to like antagonize him, or was it,
He was like telling him to stand up. I love that. It was,
Stand up, people. You want to clap for this kid with the flags? You don't want to clap for that guy?
right, exactly.
The
It's like
refugee-
he's daring them.
The refugee
Come on.
from North Korea. You're not clapping for this guy? Come
Not going
on.
to clap for North Koreans. What's wrong with you?
How-
You're not going to clap for the Korean who got his legs cut off by the train?
I
Oh, my God.
He was eating dirt for crying out loud.
You?
Yeah,
I
and-
know.
he was.
It was unbelievable. Let's all work together. And then he goes, and they cut away to Nancy Pelosi, and she looks like she's sucking on a lemon.
Oh, yeah,
I
she-
mean, it's unbelievable.
No.
That's her natural face. We
that- yeah,
can't.
that's her natural
That's her
face.
natural
That's-
look.
And
We
then
can't.
they, cut to something else. Cory Booker, I'll tell you, he looked
Oh.
like gerbil bit him.
Well, that's why they don't allow him to have small rodents in the first place.
Yeah, they frown on that one. Just a little bit.
These people, I tell you what, there's Donald Trump is MAGA, Make America Great Again. Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats are MAMA, Make America Miserable Again. Look at that.
I'll go with that. That's. I like
I
that.
can get that. I can get
behind
behind
that
that. That's
one,
a little
I
bit. All right.
Their slogan is "Misery loves company. Vote for us."
Oh, crabs in a bucket. Everybody loves it.
Ugh.
Crabs in a bucket
No,
2018.
they
That's good
don't.
times.
They don't. So I mean, going on
Face
that.
for president. You want to know who I realize who their candidate's going to be in 2020. It's going to be Pruneface. Pruneface for president.
Well, I mean Bernie Sanders, but
No.
No, Pruneface. Go
just
back
saying.
to your old Dick Tracy
Yeah,
comics.
Dick Tracy.
I
I
love
remember-
that guy. Oh man, that was good times.
And it has to be the comic book. You can't go
Yeah,
back
you
to
can't
the
go
Warren.
back. Don't go back to Madonna.
No,
don't go back to
don't do
Madonna.
Warren Beatty and Al Pacino.
No. Don't go back to Madonna playing No Face.
No.
Don't
she was
go
in
back to that movie.
That was good.
That was good. That was a good reference, wasn't it? That was nice.
Very good.
All right.
Warren
what-
Beatty and Madonna and Dick Tracy.
What could go wrong?
I
What
know,
could go
right?
wrong? And Al
That's good
Pacino,
times,
bless his
yeah.
heart.
Right, what
So
could
bad
go
for that
wrong?
guy.
Well, it did.
A lot of things could go wrong.
all
He's looking
did.
at you, kid.
That was the end of his career.
Well, speaking of Warren Beatty, his last movie he made, Rules Don't Apply, made that movie about Howard Hughes. You know who the producer was and who was in it?
Who?
That movie was out for like a nanosecond. It was in the theaters, I think, 1 week. I'm one of the 5 people who saw it. Steve Buscemi had a cameo appearance.
What?
It came out during the campaign. I'm watching the movie. As I'm a Warren Beatty fan. I'm a huge Howard Hughes fan. Anything with Howard Hughes in it, I got to see it. So I went to see the movie, and it wasn't half bad. It was okay. It was great. Golden age of Hollywood kind of thing. And there's a scene like the financiers are coming, the bankers are coming to try to get a meeting with Howard Hughes. They're going to lend him money to buy jet aircraft or something, and they're all like waiting because he's a recluse and he won't see him. And I said, that guy, that looks just like Steve Mnuchin.
I know that face.
That face is Steve Mnuchin,
know
all
that
up and down.
face.
And the credits roll at the end, and he's one of the executive producers of the movie.
Oh,
So anyway,
wow.
we're way off track.
Well,
here.
there
Yeah,
you
we're
go.
way off track, but
Hey,
that's
there's
okay.
nothing wrong with
It's like having a conversation with Andrew Clavin.
Yes, exactly.
Or Maxine Waters. Or
Oh,
something.
goodness
no,
gracious!
no.
Reclaiming my time.
No, don't you start that. Don't start it. No, don't start that.
All right. Anyway,
All right. With the Super Bowl is what, Sunday?
yeah.
Okay, with the Super Bowl
Yeah.
being Sunday, there was a several references that Trump made about kneeling and about how great
Standing.
the flag is and standing and da-da-da-da. And then
National
again,
anthem.
is this kind of a, hey, Super Bowl's coming, y'all need to straighten your act up? Is this again another dig like he was doing with the Dems? What could this all have been?
What could this possibly have been?
There's so many things it could be, and I personally don't like to speculate. I would like to know what are the odds? Is it
Well, I'll tell you what, that was
A guy in talk radio that doesn't speculate. Huh.
weird?
President Trump, Donald J. Trump, was having a lot of fun.
That's
Having
what I
a lot of
thought.
fun last night. I mean, this is Donald Trump 2.0.
Okay.
If I could. I mean, he has taken as much fun as he had at the rallies, and now he's found a way to package it into a teleprompter speech, right? So he was on script the whole time. His speechwriters and him, they have got it down now, where they can craft a speech where he is delivering it and being presidential, but have that gnarly, like mischievous Trump attitude that we so much love in the rallies, where he'd read the snake poem and he'd go off and he'd make these asides and just like start jabbing things around and really sticking the knife in to
And
the
clapping
to
for
the
himself.
and
Sorry,
he
I didn't
got
know.
it all together.
Okay.
And he had it there. And so like he kind of snuck that in. It's like he was talking about, this is why we love our country and why we stand for, goodness and light and why we stand for the national anthem.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotcha.
I had a feeling, but I wanted to make sure that I wasn't
Yeah, that sounds about
assuming.
right. Let's not
And
assume.
so if there was any Democrat that was maybe on the borderline of saying, you know what, he's calling for bipartisanship and working together, I think I'll go along with that and, maybe crack a smile.
Yeah.
At least once. That's the
Not-
funny thing. So
That triggered them. That triggered them. So
Oh
they,
yeah.
do
Well,
that right.
you saw the Congressional Black Caucus
oh yeah,
the whole time.
they weren't doing anything.
I thought somebody super glued their butt to the seat.
They had to.
Like there was zero movement. There was
Nothing.
zero.
It was just
Emotion?
I thought it was shocking, the juxtaposition of you saw the folks who lost their kids to the gang members, or
Yeah.
I don't know if they lost, they had their kids taken from them.
Yeah,
by
they're
the
murdered.
gang members. And they were all black, black or brown. Those
Yeah.
were not Norwegians, right? and the Black Caucus didn't care.
Nope.
That did, no applause for them. No sympathy as these people
No
are
nothing.
crying.
Exactly.
It's shocking.
So I got a couple nitpicky things. A couple nitpicky things. All right. So first question, real quick. How soon before he gets on Twitter again and just burns everything that he just did?
I don't know. See, that's you're buying the corporate media spin on this. Who says that the president can't communicate directly in the style he wants, in the language, in the vernacular, right? See, anytime he wants. The media can't abide by that. They want to be the gatekeepers. They're so impotent and incapable of doing anything themselves. So now they've grasped onto this role that they're the ones who are going to tell the politicians how to behave. And they're going to tell the rest of us how politicians are supposed to behave.
Gotcha.
Now, if you go back, back before Martin Luther nailed his, thing to the cathedral door, there was the priesthood, and the priesthood delivered the mass in Latin, and the Bible was in Latin, and you could not put it in the vernacular, in the vulgar language, right? And that kept this elite. Well, now we have this modern priesthood called politicians, and they're supposed to speak in measured tones and speak in complete sentences, and it might all be crap, but it sounds really good. And then the scribes are there, the temple scribes are there saying, that's very serious what they're saying. And that's really, that's a very well measured policy. And it must be true what they're saying because those are very well educated people. That's not the way Donald Trump talks. Newsflash.
Yeah, we definitely know that. And speaking of the way that Donald Trump talks,
those people who are used to part of that whole routine, they say, "Oh, it's wrong. You shouldn't do that." But anyway, to get to your question, how long before it tweets? What we're going to see is the hat trick. We're going to see the trifecta. He's going to pull off the hat trick here. We got one, the shutdown. He blasted the Democrats with that. Number two, State of the Union. He trolled them to death with that, exposed them on national live television. Yeah. People tuning in saying, what are those people doing in Washington? I don't pay attention to this. Mm-hmm. Oh, well, we got the big boss up there talking about this is the program. It's going to be great. I'm going to make you all rich. Yeah. And those are the co-workers looking all gloomy and grumpy like that guy at work that I can't stand, and I always cross the room when I see him because he's just going to rain on my parade, and he's like horrible to get along with. And that's what the Democrats looked like last night. So there's one. There's two. Hat trick's going to be the memo.
The memo.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So what you're saying is when they release the memo, that's going to be when he starts tweeting again.
Oh, maybe. Let's hope.
That'd be about the day. Okay, so speaking of how he speaks,
yes,
because you used vernacular and words, I've got a best, the best, being the best, the most wonderful, the biggest tax cut in history.
Yes.
No. No, it wasn't.
What do you mean? Wait a minute. But he said it was the biggest and the best.
That was just off the cuff, yes. That was just him being Trump. That wasn't actually written into the speech, right?
I haven't seen the actual text of the speech, but they asked me about this on the BBC last night. And as you know, you're an intelligent man, or at least you certainly.
Wow. You're giving us way too much credit.
That's a lot of credit. Thank you.
All right. A Holiday Inn last night. There's lies, damn lies, and statistics, and you can make biggest in there are many different ways of measuring the biggest. Now, they asked me right after the State of the Union speech. I'm sitting there with Corey and the MAGA band's back together. As soon as that darn thing's over, bam, I'm on TV. I'm on radio, the BBC. They fly me to London, thanks to technology. Yeah. And they ask me, well, NBC has fact-checked this, and it's not the biggest tax cut in history. It's actually the 8th biggest tax cut in history. And I said, well, I've been watching The Man. I haven't been watching NBC, so I can't really talk about their accounting procedures. But your audience deserves to know that there are many different ways of measuring the biggest. In sheer numbers of dollars, this is the biggest tax cut in American history because the economy has never been bigger.
This is true. This is
true. Okay.
What a tax cut they gave in 1918, it did not involve $1.5 trillion.
Okay, so we're going the inflation route. I got you. All right.
So there you go. And the example I gave the BBC is you show me another tax cut that led a company like Apple to invest $350 billion in America that fast.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. You're right.
Right.
Well,
all right.
We got what? 2 more minutes, 3 more minutes. I want to ask you, I know, what was for you? What was if you could narrow down your the whole speech last night? What was your favorite part of the whole thing? Was there a certain topic? Was there certain reactions from the left or from the right? Was there something a certain person that highlighted? What was your favorite part of the entire speech last night?
Oh, my favorite line was, Americans are dreamers too.
Oh, yes.
I think that was everybody's favorite line.
Yeah.
Over there at America First Policies, we're writing up talking points on this before this, back, when the DACA shutdown was about to happen. And I said, do not use the word dreamers. I find that insulting because, Americans are dreamers too. And to hear the president say that, that just exposed the wordplay, the mind. I was going to say a bad word, that the Democrats involved. You can never cede the language to the other side. So the dreamers, just such a load of crap. Right. So I love that. That was my favorite line. Seeing the reaction of the Democrats, where you've got Donald Trump given this positive vision. We're going to work together, touching the heart and soul of America. And, you know, Americans, the people dreamed this country. The people built this country. The people are going to make this country again, all this positive stuff. And then you juxtapose that with the Democrats looking like their dog just died. And it's just, I loved it.
That's awesome, man. That is awesome. So what you're saying is when Nunes decided to leave at the chance of USA, that was a wonderful day for you.
That was Gutierrez.
Gutierrez. I thought it was Nunes. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no.
Oh,
Gutierrez.
It was that mean, nasty guy from Chicago who's retiring. I don't know what they found on him, man. There is something on him.
Everybody from Chicago should be retiring, though.
Yeah, I was going to say in Chicago. What
wouldn't they find?
You know, speaking of Chicago, can you imagine if Dick Durbin, the senator from Chicago, the senator from Illinois, can you imagine if he had a meeting with Rahm Emanuel, the mayor of Chicago, and I've been in meetings with Rahm. Every other word is the F-bomb. And then Durbin came out of that meeting and revealed what they were talking about in that confidential meeting. Dick Durbin would be the senator from the bottom of Lake Michigan.
That would be about right. Yeah. You're probably right about that.
Yeah. Well, Mr. Ellis, we really, really appreciate you coming on tonight and speaking with us. How can people reach you on social media or anything like that? Twitter,
America First POL. America First POL on Twitter. There is actually a thing still called the internet, americafirstpolicies.org.
There you go.
And, that's the best way. And, you know, if you want to find out my old stomping grounds, American Jobs Alliance, it's Am Jobs Alliance on Twitter.
Gotcha.
Outstanding. Mr. Ellis, thank you so much for coming in on with us tonight.
Hey, it's
really
been fun.
Appreciate it. We'll bring you on again another time.
You bet. Take
Thank you
care.
so much,
Have
sir.
a good one, guys. All right, we are going to take a break, and we will come back on the other side. You are listening to Defenders of American Exceptionalism on the Lanterns Radio Network. Don't go anywhere. A lot of good stuff coming.
Oh, yeah.
You're listening to the Lanterns Radio Network. We are the network dedicated to empowering the individual, illuminating the truth, defending American exceptionalism, and inspiring future generations. Stay connected and get involved at Lanterns.buzz for great radio. Get commentary and news of the day. Lanterns.buzz.
Welcome back, everybody. You're listening to Defenders of American Exceptionalism on the Lanterns Radio Network.
Man, that was nice.
That was fun. That was fun. Well,
what are you doing with the mic?
My mic's trying to fall over here.
I think he just likes messing with the mics, honestly. Obligatory mic mess up.
I know. It's if I'm not adjusting it and you're not hearing it pop, then I'm not doing my job.
Obviously.
Oh. It's Wednesday night. We're live on Facebook at DOAE Show.
You can find us on Twitter at DOAE Show.
DOAE Show as well. We're also at Lanterns.buzz on Facebook as well.
Use the hashtag #NowIKnow on Twitter so that we can figure out what you know and just tweet that at DOAE Show.
Yes,
and if you did not hear that, that was American First POL on Twitter.
Yeah, that was from Mr. Curtis. I keep wanting to
Curtis
call him
Ellis.
Kurt. Why do I want to do that?
Kurt Ellison. That's why. That's why.
That's it.
It's getting you.
That's it. That's it.
Mr. Curtis Ellis.
Yes, Mr. Curtis Ellis.
Great guy. Really nice to talk with. Honestly, it really did feel like we were talking to Andrew Clavin there for a minute.
I know, right? The face.
Everything. It was going.
Bless his heart. Before we move on much further, did you hear about the Michigan representative, Brenda Lawrence? and what she said when Trump was talking about MS-13.
Oh yeah, the M16.
Yeah,
That was good. Oh man, that was so good.
In case y'all, I have to share this just because, in case y'all haven't seen the after party of
After
SO2.
the party, it's the after party.
Yeah, the representative from Michigan. So she's being interviewed by I believe it's by C-SPAN, and so they're the guys quizzing her and saying, hey, what you thought about it, and obviously she was completely against everything he said, in every single way. But at one point, he obviously she went to bring up the reference where he was talking about MS-13, the horrific Mexican gang that's terrorizing basically
Mainly filled with illegal immigrants and partial dreamers.
Well, and then
and dreamers
and all over the place. But when she was asked about it, the quote was quote, to be focused on this M16 or this illegal immigrant group that he speaks of, spoke nothing about crime in America, about his commitment to America first, end quote.
Wait.
Yeah. And except for that was not a joke.
I know.
That's the bad part about that. That was not a joke.
Oh goodness.
You're not,
lady. What's wrong with you?
you know what it is? She's drinking that water out of Flint. Anyway.
Oh.
Yeah, I went there.
Speaking of Michigan. So, let me ask you a question.
Okay.
I just straight up. Now tell me.
I'm afraid of this look.
Right,
the look on your
right.
face just has me a little worried.
So tell me straight now.
Okay.
If I were to tell you, if I were to say the word yoga, what's the first thing that comes to your mind?
Pants.
What's the second thing that comes to your mind?
I would say exercise, but it's exercise.
Exercise?
Probably the next one.
Okay. Okay. If I was to say
Or hippie, actually it'd be hippie.
Okay. And that's because of where it originally came from,
see,
right?
I could see some dude wearing like a hemp shirt with like,
whoa.
now we're all gonna lay down in a forward knee. I'm the crawling turtle pose or whatever.
Downward facing dog.
That's it. I was trying to say that.
Is that what you were going for?
I was, and I botched.
All right. So, what if I was to tell you that in Michigan, there's a professor, and that professor claims that yoga is not only racist, but it perpetuates white supremacy.
Wait, I'm sorry. What?
A Michigan professor
Uh-huh.
claims that yoga...
Uh-huh. Wait, yoga, like the thing that, you stand for a second, you breathe,
Yes, that.
Okay. You have to carry a little rolled-up mat with you.
Yeah, that thing, and you wear the yoga pants,
Uh-huh.
and then you go out for a latte after.
Well, I don't.
Yeah, you definitely don't wear the yoga. No.
No.
Think about yoga pants on him.
No.
At least we both said no at the same time. Well, apparently that is racist, and it perpetuates white supremacy.
How?
Okay. So, Srina Gandhi.
Excuse me?
Srina Gandhi,
Okay.
a religious studies professor at Michigan State University, claims that white Americans who practice yoga perpetuate a colonialism and white supremacy by misappropriation.
I'm sorry. How is that possible?
In her report titled Yoga and the Root of Cultural Appropriation, she and her co-author, Lily Wolf, assert, and this is the quote, this modern-day trend of cultural appropriation of yoga is a continuation of white supremacy and colonialism, maintaining the pattern of white people consuming the stuff of culture that is convenient and portable, while ignoring the well-being and liberation of Indian people.
Wait.
While this misappropriation of yoga it may not be a life-threatening racism, it is a part of the systemic racism nonetheless, and is important to ask. What are the impetuses for this cultural grabbing?
Okay, hold on.
Okay.
Hold on.
All right. You still with me? You still there?
No, I'm my head hurts.
Okay. Keep with me now.
I'm
Duct tape in the back.
So it's racist
Yes.
because it's cultural appropriation.
Yes.
Because people are benefiting from something that someone else
Created. And those people that created it are still living in poverty.
I'm okay. I'm
What don't you understand?
you know what, we're getting
The
ready.
Indian people are being governed, and they're still in poverty, and there's millions and millions and millions of them, and they're all going to die because you are wearing yoga pants.
I'm not wearing yoga pants.
Not you.
No.
Not you.
No.
Not you.
We already established that.
No. Please stop wearing yoga pants.
Please stop. Hashtag Dylan, don't wear yoga pants. But you know, if everything eventually is going to become cultural appropriation.
Who wears the yoga pants in your family?
Not it. Not it.
Banana. Wait. African talking stick.
No. We're not
African talking stick.
I don't have that.
That's cultural appropriation by the Democrats.
Look, we're going to get to a point, dead serious, that we're going to, everybody keeps talking about, in the future, meals will all be done in pill form. Do you want to know why it's going to be in pill form? Because it's going to get to a point where everything is going to be racist and you can't go out for Mexican. Because why? It's racist. You're culturally appropriating their food.
And you can't go out for American because being American is racist.
And if you're white, it definitely ruins it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm. Is there more to this? Because I don't know if I can take more.
Well,
of it.
let's see. So, we've got that. Okay, so Gandhi went as far as to say that colonists used yoga as a form of oppression by displaying the practice of yoga as superior to indigenous people and their way of life.
Wait a minute. Hold on. So the colonists learned it from the indigenous people and then did it
to prove that their way was better. That meaning that the people who they took it from has a better way of life.
Who has time to think this crap up?
Seriously,
out of everything going on in this world, this is your focus. This is the hill you want to die on.
She is a Michigan State University professor of
God
religious studies.
Oh, I'm sorry. Of what?
Religious studies. By the way, yoga is technically a religion.
Well, yeah, I know that.
It's not an exercise. It's a religion.
No, and I know that, but
she's Indian, obviously.
Yeah, and that African talking stick must be buried deep in her ass because she is grumpy and pissy as hell. I'm sorry. That just drives me nuts.
Yeah, there you go.
Woosah.
He's doing the ear rub.
Where's my pressure points?
He's doing the pressure points.
Come on.
Look, I knew I could get him
out
with
of
this.
everything going on in this world, this is what you want to complain about.
Yes, we just had a State of the Union where the president went on about so many wonderful things. We are in a society to where they have nothing really to complain about anymore.
So they just make crap up. They find stuff. They find something to get mad about, and I don't have time for it.
Well, they do. And so we have enough time to talk about it and make you pissed.
Yeah.
Because I knew it would.
Ta-da!
Ta-da!
You've accomplished it.
Yes! Mission accomplished. By the way, speaking of mission accomplished, Trey Gowdy.
Yes. What?
Guys, Trey Gowdy is actually being a Republican and stepping down.
Weird.
He's going to, when the vote comes out, when his seat is ready to open, he's not going to go for re-election, and he's going to go back to his job like a regular person. People are thinking, I don't know, everybody's saying that, it's because, he sees that the Democrats are going to take this, next election, fail swoop, and blah, blah, blah.
No.
I don't know. I think he's just done. You know, he's gone through how many years? I don't know how many, but it hasn't been that many. But he's been really good.
It's been enough. It's been enough.
It's been enough, and he's been really good at what he does.
And when you're alone as being
when you're at that hill and you're the last guy standing,
you're the only guy standing, and you're just kind of like, why?
All right, and you know what? He's been really good at what he does. He has, and now he's going to go back to being a regular attorney. I mean, hat off to you, buddy.
Yeah,
you're leaving before the stench gets too dark.
Yeah, well, we all.
I mean, on him.
Well, okay.
On him.
Okay, yeah.
You know,
maybe. But no, he's gonna be missed. That's for sure.
Yeah,
because I used to.
We'd rather him stay for a little bit longer and make things right.
It'd be great for him to be Attorney General.
Oh, Attorney General.
Wouldn't that be nice?
That'd be all right.
I would have been really good with that, but
yeah,
no, that just kind of came out of nowhere.
I mean, I can kind of see it happening.
I mean, I can kind of see it too, but at the same time, it was I didn't. I don't know. I guess out of everything else going on, it hadn't been something I thought of. I was like,
And you know what? That's actually a good point. So I'm reading our messages they come across on Facebook, and we've got one over the Lantern stream. Says from Esther Rogers. It says, "I always thought imitation was the truest form of flattery." Yes, no, not anymore. Actually, that is bigotry, and it has to stop. Do not imitate anybody.
Yes, ever. At all.
Especially if they're from a different culture.
When you walk out, oh, yeah. And especially if you're white.
Yes, if you're white and the other person is not, quote, white.
Don't make eye contact with people.
Don't do it.
Don't do nothing.
You know what? Actually, what we need to do is you just need to stay in your house until you hit the age of 75 and then die.
Mm-hmm. And or if you do have to go out, make sure you keep your eyes on the ground. Don't make eye contact with anybody. Don't touch anybody. Don't speak to anybody.
If you go to the grocery store, make sure you go to the self-checkout line.
Yes. Don't
do anything.
Don't do anything around anybody, because God knows you don't need to start nothing. Don't start nothing, because you will eventually. It'll get to
won't be nothing.
Right.
There we said it. Don't start nothing. Won't be nothing. Speaking of being nothing, apparently there was a train derailment.
There was.
Which is a terrible thing. An Amtrak train hit a dump truck that was apparently on the tracks. Nobody understands why. Maybe the truck was trying to get past the train before it happened. Maybe it was stuck on the tracks. They don't really know. We believe that the people were in the truck. One was badly injured. The other one was...
there was one fatality.
Was killed.
Yes.
And the only reason why anybody's hearing about this, other than the people that live in West Virginia, is the fact that there were some Republican lawmakers on the train.
Yeah, they were headed to West Virginia for their
retreat.
GOP retreat to plan the
new tax bill. No, I'm just joking.
Yeah, well, the come up with the
immigration
plan
and everything
stuff for next year. That's exactly what's happening.
Exactly
so.
for this current finishing year.
Yay them. So, but family and prayers for the guy the people that passed away on the wreck. Anybody that's injured, the whole situation is not.
Nobody likes that. Nobody wants to even talk about this, but we had to mention it. It's an honorable mention.
It is.
Not for anything else, not for the Republicans, but because there was a loss of life, and it was problematic.
And that sucks. Loss of life is always bad.
That always sucks.
Well, that was it.
Yeah.
That was a good night.
I think so.
I liked it. We're good. Folks, thank you so much for tuning in. You can do anything else on a Wednesday night at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, and you're here hanging out with us. We really, truly do appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
You can find us on Defenders of American Exceptionalism. Our Facebook page is DOA Show. Twitter is at DOA Show. You can find us at Patreon at DOA Show. Where were you?
I don't know. I stopped on that one. And by the way, hashtag now I know.
Yes.
If you're following us on
Also
Twitter.
check out Lanterns.buzz. A bunch of great articles, a bunch of great broadcasters out there. You will not be disappointed.
Yep, and you can find all of our back stuff on any podcast form that you can find. So
on
iHeartRadio, SoundCloud, anything.
iTunes.
YouTube.
YouTube. We are on YouTube.
There you go.
We have our own YouTube, and we're also on Lanterns YouTube as well. Let's see. What else?
I think that's it. I think we're good.
I think that's it.
all
Don't
right.
forget, our show on Saturday night as well, 9 p.m. Eastern. Got a lot coming. Great show planned. Do not miss it. We'll see y'all Saturday night. Bye-bye.